All right, I'm still cooling off from last week's episode of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, but while we let that sink in, let's take a detour in Atlanta. Hey guys, I'm Joe Drake, and this is another really Real Housewives recap.
Everybody deviled eggs not good.
Okay, so raise your hand if you'd like to get turned with Marlo and Nene Leakes at Toronto Carnival. Those two looked like they were having such a good time at the hotel afterward, they just kept the party going. Now, we also saw last night that Nene and Eva finally made up. Last night, as Kenya said it seems like she's making her way through the women. She started with Kandi and has even made her way to Eva. I do genuinely think it was a sincere apology, and I think this is a new start for the both of them. Luckily, the ladies made up before climbing the CN Tower because Miss Eva had to stay back due to her pregnancy, and Nene was not walking on the edge of no building. Tanya, being the cheerleader as always, wanted the ladies to walk along the edge of the top of the CN Tower, which is apparently this huge attraction in Toronto, but the entire thing was hilarious. There was this extremely peppy instructor, and all the ladies were like, bitch, shut up. Except for Kandi, who was the biggest daredevil of them all. Now back at the hotel, Porsha received some flowers from Dennis with a note that said, get this, doggone it, I'm sorry, I love you, Dennis. To which Porsha said, doggone it, too soon. But during her confessional, when the producer asked her why it was too soon, Porsha said it was because he was in the doghouse. But we all know the really awkward part was because of all the bestiality rumors surrounding Dennis. Porsha, girl. But just when we thought it was only the flowers that were arriving, we see Dennis himself showing up at the hotel, ready to surprise Porsha. Now, something tells me this had to have been a producer calling him, saying they'd fly him up to Toronto to spice up the girls' trip just a little bit more. Now, we don't see just what happened when Dennis ambushed the ladies at the rooftop party, but in the sneak peek for next week's episode, we see him getting down on one knee. What? All right, before we go, as for Snakegate, it was brought up again last night with Porsha and Kenya grilling Ivana about who may have been the one to secretly record Cynthia talking about Nene. All right, here are my guesses. Marlo, Ivana, and drumroll, Kenya. Yes, Kenya, I love my Detroit hometown girl, but when it comes to doing something like this, dramatic and stirring the pot, I just wouldn't put it past her. That's it for another really Real Housewives recap. Don't miss us next week, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.